Do you just look at me and tell me that the ocean is fixed? I don't
This is my
know. I
Scorpio
don't know.
placements,
I don't
like
know.
the Leviathan, the Kraken. This is the ocean. This is fixed. This is Scorpio, baby.
I
In
always say
Cancer?
that you can say to me and I'll probably laugh, in fact, if it's a good insult. But if you say to my friend, oh,
Yeah.
you're going to have another thing coming.
Yeah.
Elizabeth, are you trying to make us
You
fight?
could play this forever, but then we'd have to fight each other for fighting each other.
I'm just going to cry. Hi, I'm
Hi,
Kloee.
and I'm Elizabeth.
And we wanted to talk about the astrology of beginnings or initiation because that's what we're doing today. And they feel very awkward. And so we were like, you know what? That's a conversation. That's a side quest.
At least the way we're going to do it.
Yeah.
I think it probably could be the main journey. It could be the main quest, but not the way we do it. No, no, absolutely not. Specifically, we were thinking about how we wanted to get going with this, with talking to all of you about our thoughts about many things, mostly around astrology or locked into astrology in some kind of way from our Sagittarius rising perspective. And so, since we're at the start, it does make sense that we're going to talk about starting new things. In your actual birth chart, your personal chart, where are some indications of how you like to show up in process, right? Are you like the person who wants to, just jump out of the gate with all the energy? You get the idea and you're just like, let's roll. Are you more of someone who is like me, who's a little bit more of the bring me something and I will help you improve your draft kind of person?
Wait.
Okay.
Okay. So,
Okay.
so earlier, Elizabeth was saying something to me about like how we initiate through like cardinal signs, cardinal sign energy. And this is something I'd never heard before. Mind you, I have a cardinal Mars. I do think that I initiate though. Like
Yeah, yeah.
the click was clicking. I was
The
like,
click,
oh,
click, click, click.
I was like, oh, is this why I'm like
Light
this?
bulb.
Is this why I'm like that? Is this why I do these things? I'm a Cancer Mars, which
How
is a cardinal sign.
how much of astrology is really just like, oh, that's why I'm like that?
Yeah, that's why I'm
Yep.
like horoscopium, as we like to call it.
And I think that's a good place to start instead of just walking around going, that's why you're like that. That's not always very nice. Right? If I say that about Kloee and I'm like,
I
oh,
don't know.
you're like that because,
I think I would let you say it, but that's because you're a trusted individual. I wouldn't let any bitch just say that to me.
Yeah, don't use people's charts against them. That's not what we want to do.
That's not cute.
I think it's also just really validating to be able to look at the astrological chart and say, okay, this feels like the right way to be. And I see that I'm not everyone in the universe is like this. There's a reason why I'm like this. There's a reason why this is my part of the sky zoo that I am representing right now. And I'm showing up in the way that I was made, I guess.
But like, it just, sorry, my brain is still on the light bulb right now, and I'm just like, oh.
Ooh, talk to me. Okay,
Well,
I'm here.
we've just talked about that before, and I've said that casually. I've been like, no, I think I'm actually really good at picking things up, having an idea, and then being like, okay, let me run with that. Let me go do something with that. I don't feel like I need to like sit on it. I can pick it up and start moving immediately. Even if I have to have some level of planning it out, the planning it out is part of that. Like there's no I don't typically sit and marinate on ideas. I typically will run head first and like I will do it. I will initiate it.
Okay.
Like I don't see myself as moving slowly through things.
Yeah, yeah.
I just never made that
No,
connection.
and I see that for you too. And I think, and we're talking about your Mars placement right now.
Specifically, yeah.
And I guess I could back up and just talk about cardinal
Yeah,
signs versus
please. You know
mutable
what? That's a good
versus
idea.
fixed.
That's
Maybe
a good
we should talk
idea.
about that. So in the Zodiac, we have 12 signs, and each one is either a cardinal, a fixed, or a mutable sign. And it basically just goes through the Zodiac, starting with Aries, which is a cardinal sign, which is about starting things. It's always going to be the sign that starts the season. So it's where we have our, like the equinoxes and the solstices are going to be kicking off these signs through the year. And then the next sign in that progression is always going to be a fixed sign. So in the spring, we've got Aries as the cardinal. getting started. We have Taurus as the fixed sign, which is the height of spring. And then you have your mutable sign, which is kind of preparing to move into the next season. And so I'm talking about this literally in terms of seasons throughout the year, but it's also, metaphorically, mythologically, archetypes, personalities, those kinds of things. So again, we've got Aries, Taurus, and then Gemini is our mutable sign for the spring. And that just goes around the year. So the idea from my background in astrology is that those periods of cardinal energy, that's where we're kind of getting started. It's very like the beginning. I don't want to get, I'm going to sidebar into tarot. I was going to be, it's like the fool in the fool's journey.
Elizabeth.
They're actually not the same, but some people might be familiar with the archetype of the fool.
Somebody might be familiar with the tarot. I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe. But
we always get on the fact that people group astrology and tarot together and they are not the same thing. Like,
okay,
they can work well together.
Sidebar, I literally was interacting with somebody who I'd never met before this week. And this was not in an astrology context, just out in the world. And we got talking, and at some point she volunteered her sun sign and correctly identified mine, because my birthday's very late in the month. And we're born the same month. And she goes, oh, and she told me what, and I said, oh, you actually know that not all of August is Leo. And so that kind of made me think we could start chatting about these things. And at some point in the conversation, I said, oh yeah, I actually do chart readings. And she literally, there's a point to this. She literally says, oh, how does that work? And I was like, oh, she goes, do you like pull cards? And I'm not mad about it, but it just was so funny because we do talk about this all the time, that, even people in our space, right? Even when we're looking at, God bless Canva, but seriously, anytime you put astrology, anytime into the astrology, you put astrology into the search bar in Canva, they're going to come back with a crystal ball,
and some, a tarot card,
whiff of smoke, and a bunch of tarot cards.
Yeah,
that's what you're going to get. So anyhow, just literally had this happen to me yesterday, where she's like, oh, how would you read a chart? By pulling out cards? Like, no, I just read the chart.
And like, don't get me wrong, like, you can read with, like, you can make them work together, but that's just like, when you're talking about reading somebody's chart or transits, you're typically not going to be using tarot cards.
Absolutely not.
That's not a typical thing.
But cardinal energy is about getting started. And so it's kind of that germination of like, nothing's happened yet. It's the newborn baby. It's the fool in the tarot. It's getting started.
This is also why so many people that are into astrology are like, no, the new year actually really starts during Aries season, because that's the baby. That's the start, right?
Correct. Yeah. Astrologically, astronomically, Aries in Western tropical astrology is based on the spring equinox. Cardinal signs, to me, especially in the traditional pre-medieval, like Hellenistic, traditional ancient astrology. And so those would be those times, the cardinal times are when you're getting started, and also kind of times of the preparation. And then the achievement. So it's almost like the beginning of a cardinal sign is kind of like the new moon period. And then the middle of the fixed sign is kind of like that full moon of that culmination. And then you have the rest of the season that's kind of like benefiting from that work, kind of pulling things down. And then by the time you get to the mutable, you're actually kind of open to deconstructing and leaving some things behind. And so,
wow, I don't think I've ever heard that like so beautifully. That was such a great package.
Yeah,
that was.
And I'm also gonna get on my soapbox about astrological cross quarter days in the witchy community, because we all kind of average them out to be like August 1st, October 31st, these kinds of things. You can also calculate it astrologically, and those would align with the 15 degree of the fixed signs. So it's actually the peak of the season. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So if you ever hear me like
we knew every day
wanting to talk about Samhain being on like November 6th, that's I'm making an astrological argument, which is not necessarily a cultural or a spiritual argument, but I'm making a astronomical astrological argument for it.
It's also kind of cute though, because like if you have celebration with like family, and then you're like, oh, but my homies want to do a celebration, but we can do it on the actual astrological day. Like,
right.
I don't know. I just feel like it makes more room.
Or just like the whole week.
Well, kind of like how isn't Yuletide like some insane amount of time too. Like it's not just on a day. It's like
Right.
they celebrate it like until the new year or something. Or, if you celebrate, like,
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
anyways.
There's like I think there's different ways people calculate that. There's ones that go from the solstice to about the new year. You've got
I think
the
that's what
12
I've
days of
heard.
Christmas,
I've
basically
heard
just
that too.
shifting that, going from the 25th until Epiphany. Yeah, so
I
just
wish I
like
could just open your brain and be like, can I just have some of that? That's why we're here.
I know the things I know. So, but going back to your chart, because you were talking about how, and I know you have a way that you like to describe your Cancer Mars.
Oh, yeah. So I feel like personally, having a Cancer Mars for me, I don't even know that I have so many things in my chart that like tee up with that. But I always like to describe it like, first of all, I'm going to be yelling and crying at the same time. Like, that is a given. If I'm mad, like, I might be yelling at you, but there's just a water fountain coming out of my
Hmm.
face. And I think I'm going to hurt you, but all I have is a butter knife. I can't hurt anything. I'm a crab with a butter knife. Like,
Yeah. Just
you
coming
said
at things
something.
sideways. No.
You you said something the other day though that you were like, yeah, but Cancer Mars has the fortress, and I was like, you are so right
Yeah.
on that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that fits with the archetype or the image of the crab,
Yeah,
right? Is that
this is
you've
the
got the
shell.
soft inner side, but you're really about that. But I think coming from that, it's also in my thinking the pole, the axis between Cancer and Capricorn. I think it's something that both of those signs actually have in common. Anytime you have two signs that are across from each other, we think of them because there's that opposition, that they're kind of opposite, but there's usually some theme that they have in common. So for me, when I think about it, part of that theme is that the structure and something around boundaries. And so Capricorn maybe is a little bit more invested in the boundaries themselves or the structure, the organization, the physical buildings for the sake of it. And I think Cancer is a little bit more concerned from a protective standpoint. And I think that makes sense with the like, I'm going to have a brave face and act tough because if you get past my fortress walls, I'm just crumbling in here. But I think it also comes back to the association of the moon ruling Cancer and maternal instincts, right? And like protective spaces,
For
like
sure.
literally the womb that is like soft, but also like a very clear boundary and a protective space. And just, anybody who's ever had mama bear energy, whether you are any
Oh yeah.
gender,
Oh
any
yeah. You
any
can.
identity, any level of having babies, having fur babies, having no babies, just having friends, like a lot of us know what that mama bear energy is. And I think we've talked about that, especially with Mars
I
in
always say
Cancer.
that you can say fuck shit to me and I'll probably laugh, in fact, if it's a good insult. But if you say fuck shit to my friend, oh,
Yeah.
you're going to have another thing coming.
Yeah.
And you don't want that. I will have an actual knife. I'm bringing a sharpener for the butter knife. Like, there's going to be a problem and it's going to be me. You're going to have 99 problems and they're all going to be me.
And that one's for the comment section. So because I'm about to say kind of the same thing because we've talked about this. I have the flip position, right? Where I've got Moon in Aries. And
Yes.
so we have Moon Mars together again. It's just in one case, you're trying to achieve things and take action in the moon's space, in a moon kind of vibe. And in the other way, I'm trying to have feelings that I want to punch somebody about. Like, like
Punch people in the throat over here.
but I do think anytime you have Moon Mars, if you have like conjunctions, if you have either of them in each other's signs, you're going to have some of that mama bear energy really getting emphasized in that chart. But because of that, you don't necessarily think about that as like a get started place. But Cancer
No,
is the cardinal sign for summer,
it
right? Is
is.
from the solstice is like a new point, and it's definitely one that grows on what happens in Aries. So if we think about this from a northern hemisphere standpoint, which is a lot of these concepts were designed in and developed over centuries and millennia in north of the equatorial regions, so in the northern hemisphere, you're building on what happened in the springtime and the summer, right? So like the plants are already in the ground, you know, the seeds, things are starting to happen, but there's still like more work that needs to happen. And then you actually are having your harvest in the middle of the summer. So there is this activation of like, what is the next phase that needs to keep moving? How do you feel about that as a concept, as I'm just kind of spitballing here, that it's like starting something new, but it's not from nothing, right? It's not the absolute beginning of the year that Cancer energy is building on something that's already been planted, but it is a new start in a sense.
I think that also makes sense for like personal initiation for me, in that, I mean, we were just talking about that with the podcast. I was like, I'm really going to step out of my comfort zone here, and we're just going to sit down and record. I'm not going to have this foundation of like, I put some things together already, or I thought about X, Y, and Z.
Hmm.
I've got colors. I've got, this and this and this to
Yeah.
kind of hold me up, and then I can make the thing. I
Her
can
her
do it.
poor Taurus heart is just
I'm
crying,
dying over here,
crying.
dying over here. But
I matched my socks to her stuffed animals though. I don't know what
and
else
we
she
didn't
wants
even
from me.
plan that. And also the unicorn's a ginger. You can't. I
The
can't be
unicorn is
mad.
I'm not supposed to put this next to her face to have the unicorn's red hair next to her red hair, but I kind of want to. It's right there. I don't know if you can
Although
see
the
it.
horse is pink, like if I was a horse, it would be me. I
Yeah.
usually don't start from nothing. I mean, we always start from nothing, but I feel like that to me is a harder process of like trying to have some kind of basis going. And then to me, actually sitting down and filming, or, I do a lot of stuff online. So sitting down and actually filming, to me, that is initiating. That is like, I am now making the thing. I do feel like that tracks. That tracks for me,
Okay.
with like, there has to be something going. I have a hard time just
Yeah.
starting from nothing. That's
Just
the
like
hardest
I
part.
just I got it in a dream, right? I got it in a Pisces dream, and now I'm making it happen in an Aries, you know, hard launch, I guess. Yeah.
How do you
Now
feel like that is for you? Because you, as a Scorpio Mars, I know it's not a cardinal Mars, but how do you feel like that works out for you? Sorry,
you'll never
I'm
know. You'll never know.
letting
It's
all
a
of your
secret.
secrets
It's a
out on the
secret.
internet.
Yeah, it's funny because they're both water signs. I mean, my thing, I always talk about Mars especially, but I think like, and I say this with all love as someone with planets in Scorpio, that Scorpio is kind of like the stalker assassin energy to me. And we say like that's bad.
Hot. I said hot. I said what I said.
We're not talking about Joe from You right now. Like that is like the
Wow, why is
biggest,
that literally who I thought about too?
it's the biggest like stellium in Scorpio energy, and
He
it is a
Penn
problem.
Badgley is a Scorpio too. Did you know that?
I think we have
Yeah,
talked
yeah,
about
he is
that.
a
Yeah,
Scorpio.
yeah. And he will tell you he's not hot in that show, but he doesn't
Oh,
understand. And
please.
the girls tell me he is. So really what it is it's about having a similar drive and focus as, you would see in Aries, but it's not a like jump out of the gate, go and attack something. It is that watch and wait kind of energy. Like some of the other signs where you might have like some of the other water or earth signs where you might be kind of like sitting back and just kind of seeing what shows up and acting on that or responding or kind of being in flow with those things. I think it's having a goal, it's having something of interest, something in those crosshairs metaphorically, and just biding your time. So you are maybe planning, maybe strategizing, maybe getting the blueprints for the mansion. I don't know. But taking the time to kind of assess the situation and then striking. I feel like this is such violent language, but whenever it's Mars, like you're doing stuff. It's knives and fire, baby. Like it is.
Well, not
And
only that, but like I know we both agree that, because we've talked about it, that Scorpio is like the fire sign of water signs. Like that's a whole other side quest, but
that is a whole other side quest. I was thinking about that today. Yeah. Hmm.
that like
Yeah.
if Scorpio could sit with another element that isn't water, it would be with the fire signs. But I think that makes sense because it's also Mars ruled.
Interesting. I literally was thinking about this. This is what I'm I'm calling it my asteroid shower thoughts.
I love
It's like a
that.
shower thought, but it's about the space. Get it? Okay. So my asteroid shower thought was about filling out the rest of my pantheon of which is the most fire earth sign, and because this is a thing, I think it's
Yeah.
really a thing.
Like Taurus is a water sign,
It
clearly.
is, it is, yes, Taurus is the most water earth sign.
Yeah.
Virgo is the most air
Yes.
earth sign. Capricorn is interesting because Capricorn's kind of just Capricorn.
I think I
But
could fit it with the fire signs before the air
and
signs,
we're
personally.
going to because it's cardinal. I'm going to
Yeah.
come back to it. And for me, fire is I mean, we're getting a little bit out of it with the Mars thing because Mars is also fire, so we could make an argument with Scorpio. Generally, fire for me is very associated to cardinal, and air is very associated to
I would agree with
mutable.
that.
And I would say that both water and earth are fixed. If I had to just do across the board.
I feel like water to me would be more on the mutable. I would give air and water to mutable. That's so interesting. But like I haven't thought about it further yet. I'm only thinking about it elementally right now.
Yeah.
So I'd have to really pull that out. But
Yeah. Yeah.
that's
But it's the
interesting.
vibe it gives me. I mean, you said Taurus. Taurus is fixed, and you said it was a water sign. But I think it also depends because it's Venus and everything. I think the thing with Earth is that it makes a lot of sense as fixed, right? Because it's just there.
Yeah.
And I think air could probably go a couple places, but mostly it makes sense as mutable because it's just like not precious about anything. It's not holding on to anything. And fire just as an initiator and, the spark literally, right? Like lighting the
Literally.
candle, the blaze, like it's going. It's starting the heat, it's building the heat. And so water for me, and I think it's because it is a receptive or traditionally feminine sign, I feel like the feminine signs are just here. And I think that's where it's coming from for me. But it depends on what kind of water, right? So is it a lake? Is it an ocean? Then
Right?
it's
Tell
probably
me and
fixed. Then it's probably fixed. If it's a river, I don't know. Maybe it's something else.
do you just look at me and tell me that the ocean is fixed?
Yeah.
The ocean is so chaos though. It depends on how you're looking at it.
Yeah, but it's there. It's not moving away. It is what it is. It contains what it contains.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't
This is my
know. I
Scorpio
don't know.
placements
I don't
like
know.
the Leviathan, the Kraken, this is the ocean, this is fixed, this is Scorpio, baby.
I'm
So
out here like it can be smooth sails or it can be a fucking hurricane. Like, or what
yeah,
is it what's in
what's
the
a
water?
hurricane?
What is it what's in the water? A tsunami?
What's a hurricane?
Doesn't that come from the sky?
Yes.
That's why I was like, fine, a tsunami. I don't know.
No, I mean you
Oh
can
my
do that. You
God,
could play
Elizabeth, are you trying to make us
you
fight?
could play this forever. But then we'd have to fight each other for fighting each other.
I'm just gonna cry
So we talked about Mars.
as an initiator.
As an initiator, and that for your placement it is in that cardinal space, so it's more starting things, and mine is fixed, so my Mars usually is, I think the Scorpio piece of it really makes a lot of sense, that it's I will totally do things and people will have no idea, and I've been like, oh, I've been planning this for 10 months, I didn't tell you. I just did it. I wanted to see how it was going to go. I wanted to get accomplished. I didn't want to get sidetracked.
Try to move in silence.
Yeah, I do. Like, absolutely. And then I just do it. It just happens all of a sudden. It seems like from the outside. Like I've quit jobs. I've like taken really big trips that, I did by myself, and was like out of the country for a month or something, and nobody knew that this was going to happen until I was like, guys, I'm leaving next
Bye.
week. This is
Gotta
where,
go.
check on me to make sure I'm still alive. But I'm gonna be gone. Someone check on my cat.
It's very
Like,
Sagittarius rising of you.
it is also
It's very Sagittarius rising of you.
the desire, but how the planning goes. I think the Mars piece, it wants to. There is this intention very early on. There is this attention to a particular goal. It just isn't like, okay, I'm going to do it because I thought about it. And I think that is probably more a cardinal thing. Cardinal signs in general, so not just Mars, but like cardinal signs. I mean, you have more cardinal, I think, in your chart than I do.
I do have a lot on Cancer Capricorn. I've got an Aries Mercury. I don't know that I have anything major chilling out in Libra. Libra is not a strong. I just
Interesting.
don't think I really have anything in there that I'm aware of anyways that would be.
Oh, and this is the same rising sign, different midheaven conversation because
Yes,
my
yes,
midheaven
yes,
is in
yes,
Libra,
yes.
and I do think so having it in Libra, so it's about other people and it's about partnership and it's about balance, and the fact that it shows up in my 11th whole sign house, which is about like networking and
Oh my gosh.
connection.
She is like the community leader that I don't even think you have to try. You
Like
just are.
I won't do things by myself. So it's funny. I'll do the things by myself that no one knows about. But if I'm like, oh, let's organize a thing together, I'd probably do act on that.
You're very good at that.
Like I get impatient if someone else, I think we met through a group that I started, and it was because I was going to leave it up to someone else. I wasn't going to be the one to initiate it, and I had kind of been watching for a little bit, Scorpio Mars, and nobody had done it. And I was like, well, this is unacceptable. Somebody needs to make a group for this. We need to have some space. So I think when it does come to that kind of thing, I will take more initiative on the behalf of other people.
Yeah.
Yeah, or in connection with other people. I am just looking up charts real quick. So let's talk about just other cardinal placements.
My Venus Mars are both in Cancer, but they are not close by degree. I have like an early degree Venus and a late degree Mars, which I honestly wish was flipped because I don't know. I heard it like one time that it's better when Mars is chasing Venus, and I was like, why it got to be like this?
Oh,
I
oof.
think
See,
that was more.
I don't feel that way about transits. I
I
want
feel
Venus to
like
come through and clean things up.
I
Absolutely.
feel like I was listening to somebody talk about like sexual energy and astrology, and I was like, oh man.
Oh,
So, like, I could see why you would want it the other way from my position, but it's whatever. Does it really
I have
matter?
Mars in Scorpio, so I have no problems there.
No, you don't.
Not a problem,
I
babe.
could see that with Mars and Scorpio. And then as far as like Capricorn goes, all of my stuff is I want to say it's like Uranus. You have my chart on lockdown, don't you?
I mean, I have it. Do I know it all? Absolutely
Oh, I just
not.
meant like, is it in your bank in front of you?
It's in my
Because
bank.
it's in her bank. My chart, I have a lot of opposition happening with Cancer and Capricorn.
Yeah.
I already mentioned Venus, Mars. I also have my Chiron in Cancer
Okay.
and my vertex. I don't know how much we put in that right now. But then in
That's not
Capricorn,
unusual. If I remember how that's calculated, it's not unusual for a Sag rising to have a vertex over
oh,
there
okay.
because a vertex is like an alternate. The calculation is very different, but it's like an alternate descendant. So
Okay.
like mine's also there. I think it has to be on that side of the chart though.
But then I have Lilith, Uranus, Neptune. Also, my North and South node are in, North node is in Capricorn, South node's in Cancer. But Lilith,
Mm.
Uranus, Neptune, those are all in Capricorn.
Yeah.
So I've got a lot of cardinal, as it turns out. My chart's actually kind of heavy with that. And then an Aries Mercury. So
Yeah. It's funny though, as I'm looking at this and all your Capricorn, and we were talking about getting things started. And so I kind of talked about, Aries as a cardinal, Cancer as a cardinal, Capricorn, because Capricorn, and we talk about Aries is really being the year. But here's the
I've
thing.
got to put my heart eyes on. Like, where are my glasses when I need them?
But the thing is, well, okay. I'm gonna have to leave the room. She's gonna have to have her moment with the Capricorn. So yes,
I just love
Capricorn right
them.
here.
I just love them. I just love them.
But it actually also makes sense to me why we are all trying to do New Year's resolutions under Capricorn.
Oh, for sure.
Right, because Capricorn is about beginnings, but it's also about, as opposed to Aries, which is just like, I had an idea, I'm gonna do it, and I don't know how to do it, and I don't care that I don't know how to do it, and I don't know if I have the right resources, and I haven't talked to anyone. I'm just gonna do it. That for me is that kind of cardinal energy in Aries, whereas Capricorn is like, I want to set up the correct structure to do it. I'm going to design a structure. I'm going to design a layout in this very earth way. I'm going to design the system of something new that's going to work. And to me, that just makes so much sense when you're like, I'm going to go to the gym 3 days a week, right? I'm going to like, we're trying to make these concrete things. We're doing a new bullet journal. Things that I know some people want to argue with me and say that's Virgo. Virgos like to design those systems, but I think we're less I don't know, we can get to the whole Virgo Capricorn thing. I think Virgo is doing something different with those, but Capricorn is trying to set up a system that's going to last. It's trying to start things that can be maintained. But the problem with that is that we do that in Capricorn. About 3 weeks later, tell me I'm not wrong, that about 3 weeks later is when you didn't go to the gym that one time, right? And then you just kind of, the whole thing goes out the window because the sun is now in Aquarius.
Yeah.
Right. And Aquarius is like, let's rethink all of the boundaries. Let's rethink all of the structures. What if we did this differently? What if we didn't do it at all? What if we did this completely different thing? And so there is this sense of still being concerned with boundaries and structures and organization, but in this very chaotic, airy kind of way. And so to me, it actually makes a lot of sense that we're trying to do these New Year's resolutions under Capricorn. It is a cardinal sign. It also makes sense to me why we drop the ball because it's not a natural progression. Whereas Aries is saying, I'm going to try to do this. And then Taurus is kind of like getting some resources together, right? And getting some skill and some talent. Like we're accumulating some value. We're working on it. And then we're sharing it with other people through Gemini. And, we're continuing to get our allies together in the sense of whatever the effort is. And then you kind of have this progression that's really nice through the zodiac. Whereas in Capricorn, you're going to go into Aquarius and then everything's going to dissolve in Pisces. So,
Rough.
unless it really is established in a way that can survive missing a day, right? If it is
Yes.
a system, if you've now, but you should have gone through the whole rest of the zodiac
Yes.
of building it up to the point where you say, this is the system I'm now going to create to codify and solidify all the things I've learned and all the things I've been developing through the earlier parts of the zodiac, so that when I get to Aquarius and I get to Pisces and it's just kind of throwing wrenches and everything and dissolving things and there's some, fun chaos of Aquarius that just says, well, what if we did it different? What is the part of that that's going to
Yeah.
sustain, right?
And also, just something I was thinking of as you were talking about this, it kind of brought up a question for me of anybody that knows me from wherever you're coming from on the internet knows that, hi friends, hi. If you don't, that's also fine. Welcome.
Oh, that's a
But
little bear hug.
many people know that I've been on a like weight loss health journey. I've been pretty open about sharing that. I initiated that around December 1st of last year. And I have continued to go the course with that. And when I tried to look at astrology to figure out that, Elizabeth, I think, was actually the one to point it out that made me the light bulb click. Was I was Mars was crossing my natal Mars. I was
Oh yeah.
having like a big Mars moment when that happened.
Yeah, yeah.
And I couldn't tell you why I've continued. I think they just became habits over that time, and I've just been continued to be able to stick with it. But I feel like that was a major initiator, though. Even though we were in what's December Sagittarius
Sagittarius.
season,
Yeah, so and so, you also have the sun going through your first house,
which
and
was
so there's a
another
highlight on
major.
your body and yourself and your presentation.
But I think Mars was really there to support
Yeah.
it. And
Yeah.
so, like, I also think what I'm trying to say is that personal transits also matter. It's not just like you might have something going on in January one year that really lights some fire under your ass, and you actually do carry it through. Like,
Yeah. And then I think just in general, if you are building systems in Capricorn, again, not trying to build it out of nothing. And also it has to be a system that can stand the test of time. And
yeah,
that means that it has to stand the test of like, I did not get up that one day at 5 in the morning and go to the gym. The system did not fall apart.
yeah,
Right. So that's what's happening with Aquarius is like, and Pisces is they are finding those cracks. They're not trying to attack you. They're not trying to be mean. But just by the nature of those, and then, getting into areas where you're starting something totally fresh and new, those energies can break it down. So I think there has to be some resilience to those systems, right? Is this a structure that can stand the test of time? That is what Capricorn is interested in. I know it's a really long time till we all do our New Year's resolutions again, but just something to think about in 9 months. Yeah. So I mean, obviously I have my moon in Aries, and I do want to talk about moon in a little bit in terms of phase,
oh yeah,
but we can kind of get back to that. I will say in my chart, I have a lot more mutable. I have a lot of mutable in my chart. And that makes sense actually with my moon phase. I can talk about that and where I like to show up in a process, and it's not usually at the beginning. But I do think my moon in Aries placement is kind of fighting the rest of my chart because the moon is like, I mean, how did I describe it? The that moment of Hades in the Hercules cartoon, the
Oh
Disney
my
film,
gosh, it's like one
where
of my
like
favorites.
his like hair goes up and then he's like smooths it back. Like
I'm
that
cool. I'm cool.
moment.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
That's my whole chart. That's my moon going, I have a feeling. I want this thing. And then the whole rest of my chart being like, shh, stop it.
You're fine.
Stop it. Don't do it. Don't do it, girl.
I'm not gonna do it. I'm
I'm
just
not gonna
thinking
do it.
about
I'm just
it.
thinking about it. I'm just thinking about it. Yeah. And then I do have, yeah, my midheaven in Libra, and I have my Venus also in
I know
Cancer.
it's so cute.
I know it's
I have
so
one
cute.
too.
It's so
I
cute.
love it. What degree was your Venus?
It's later. It's like closer to
Okay.
your Mars.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
So if you
see.
just want to like get wrapped up in love, just like a cuddly that's actually a trap
That's
because it's Cancer. A velvet cage, if you will, of love. I'm just making that up. That is not something I've ever said before. That's an insane thing to say. Yeah, so I don't have a ton of that, and I think that makes a lot of sense for me. I'm not that person who's just going to get the idea and push things forward. And even when I am the initiator, it is usually because I've waited to see if there's space. Like if
okay.
the thing's already happening, if there's something I can jump in on.
You feel like that's more mutable when you just kind of feel it out, like wait and see.
Well, we can talk about what I think my mutable is about. I have a lot of. It's not just the mutable; it's where it's mutable,
Okay.
and it's also my lunar phase. So maybe I'll talk about it more when we talk about lunar
Oh, that's right.
phase,
Okay.
because I think they all kind of work together, and I think it is a beneficial part of the process to come in when someone else has created something and provide analysis and criticism and
Hey,
feedback. I think it is a valid thing. Not everybody enjoys this,
listen,
but I have a lot of that in my chart.
listen. As a Virgo midheaven, I think it is my job and my right to be like, I can make you better. Not you, but like the collective at large. If somebody like needs
I'm
me to look
perfect.
at something,
I'm so perfect.
I'm like, I can make it better though. If you listen to me and you do what I say, it will be better. Like, I like
Yes.
if I could just be a critic for a living, I think I would actually really enjoy that.
And now I'm just imagining you with the butter knife. You're like, let me make it better.
See,
I
but
will improve
then when
it.
somebody claps back and they don't like my criticism, then I'm gonna cry about it. So
But you'll never see it.
yeah, no,
No.
absolutely not.
No.
No.
And the tears become a river. So let's see. We've talked about Mars, we've talked about our cardinal placements. I mean, we didn't really have another chart that we were going to look at today for that. We have some other charts we're going to look at around initiation. I would love to hear other people's thoughts on this. And I'm sure
Yes.
we'll continue to have conversations about it, about where that's showing up. I know we didn't really give Libra a lot of love, but
Sorry.
Libras get enough love.
They do. I don't know. My bitch Libra sister from me sure doesn't. And I hope she does hear it. I hope she is watching.
I was going to say we love you, but honestly, it doesn't matter because you love you, right? Is that fair? No.
We love you, but you love you. It
You
isn't
love you
that
more. Isn't that from
Samantha Jones.
Samantha
I love
says-
you, but I love me more.
I love me more.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
The other thing that I wanted to talk about was the moon phase, because I think it's
Oh yeah,
very
yeah.
striking with our charts. So one of the things we always like to look at with ours, just because we're astrology nerds and we're friends and everything, but also because we are both Sag ruled charts, right? Sag risings, that you have a lot of, the houses are similar and you have certain angles in the same places, but we're also looking at like where are our charts different. And one of the things that I think as we've worked on projects together, not just like on camera, but just worked on different projects, that I think comes up a lot is about that, the lunation. So where the moon was in the cycle at the time of our birth. And I think this really came up because you just kind of offhandedly were saying one day, and I think it actually lines up with the cardinal Mars and all the cardinal energy in your chart. So this is, sometimes I look at charts and you see one thing and you're like, okay, maybe. But then you start seeing kind of the same message like over and over and over and over and again. So this idea of just like quick starts or just like pivots and like trying new things and like recreating
She
the
rebrands
whole
a lot. I don't know what to tell you.
right? Like you see this in Kloe's chart. And one of the other ways is that you do have a moon, and I forget it was right before or right after the exact new moon, but it's very
I think it's
close.
right after because if it was at, I imagine it would have been Taurus, and I'm not.
Yeah,
So it
yeah,
would have
yeah, yeah.
been,
So it is, yeah, it
but
is right after, because the moon's past it, which actually I think makes more sense as testimony towards these themes again, that it's not in that dark phase before the new moon, but it's actually like moving towards, there might have even been a slightly visible crescent in the sky
my
at the time you're
goodness,
born.
cute.
Because I think it's about a day after the
Yeah.
exact new moon. And yeah, and so I mean, I don't know if you want to talk about that, but you had just kind of offhandedly, we were talking about getting started on something. You're like, I don't know, maybe it's because I'm a new moon
Yeah.
girl. And
I'm
I
gonna,
went,
and
I had a light bulb moment about myself when that happened. But I'll have you talk about yours and then I can talk about mine. Is definitely not a new moon.
I was just saying that I'm not only have I always been like even when I got into astrology, like I've kind of always been into it, but like from like even a child's age, I was reading the horoscopes in the back of the newspaper. That was like the gateway. But I got really invested because lunar astrology hooked me in. I was reading Yasmin Boland's book Moonology at the time, and she teaches a lot of like new moon manifesting techniques. And so I got really vested in like, oh yeah, like I'm always starting these kinds of things on the new moon, and like I really resonate with that. The full moon I don't give as much attention to because I don't really like her ass that much. I'm always crying, my sleep's always fucked up, and like I don't really like that shit. So but the new moon and me, we're
Justice for the full moon.
friends. Me and the new moon are besties. Love the new moon. And I just I don't know. I consider myself a new moon bitch, and it does reflect in my chart.
Yeah.
My moon is under a new moon or within a day of a new moon that was taking place.
So you were talking about how you really have just never felt an affinity for the full moon.
Mm-mm.
And I think that was where when we started talking about like moon manifesting and lunar phases, and that we were one, I think, coming from different schools of thought about this stuff. Like I think we had different backgrounds
For
of
sure.
ideas that we were introduced to, but I think we also took on those beliefs. We've probably encountered multiple types of beliefs about
Oh,
it, but
for
there's
sure.
reasons there were certain ones you kept moving forward and ones that I kept moving forward.
Apparently, I was doing life on hard mode.
I don't know. I think it takes side quest. I think it takes longer than 28 days to do a lot of things. But my point was that for me, and this is kind of a theme in life that I feel like we don't give enough credit to, like endings of things, right? Like it's just one of those things that I used to work in HR, and we would always publish like the birthdays and the anniversary dates of hires, but I felt like we didn't take enough time to say goodbye to people. Like sometimes you
Okay.
have the little party, but we would never like put up all the names until I was there of like, hey guys, this is everyone who's leaving this month. Like if you don't work with them directly, go and grab them, say hi, or shoot them an email or something like that, because we would publish all these other ones. I mean, I think when everybody was really into the trend of divorce parties, I was like super on board. I was like, but not even just like I'm gonna go and use a paintball gun on my dress. I was like, no, there should be some kind of ceremony
Oh
where your
yeah.
friends and family have to show up, and
Yeah.
like there needs to be something. So I just think for me in general, this idea of like endings and like what happens after the peak of things has been a theme that I've been really interested in. But also, so this comes back to looking at the lunar cycle and what's of importance. And to me, I'm like, well, the new moon's cool, like that's the seed, but the full moon's where the action is, baby, right? Like that's where things actually happen. And so it was so interesting that you were really focusing on the front half, and I was like, no, but like the full moon's what happens. It's the whole game. Like if I'm trying to think about what my intentions might be around a new moon, I'm also thinking about where the moon is going to be at the full moon point. We had this conversation and I was looking at my chart and I was like, well, fuck. I was not born under a full moon, but I was born just past a full moon. So kind of the way you're born
Similar vibes.
just past the new moon, mine is in what you would either call a waning gibbous phase or the disseminating phase. And thinking about my attitude specifically towards the lunar cycle and what's important, that's the phase that is reflecting back on the accomplishment of the full moon. So sometimes I think about like if the whole full moon cycle is a dinner party, and so you're like, I want to have a dinner party, and you make a list, and you have to go shopping, and you invite people, and you do all the planning, and you do the cooking, and like the full moon is like we're at dinner now, like we're sitting down to dinner. And so anything that happens after that is like, I don't, it could be after dinner dessert and coffee, depends on where you draw the line. It could be having to do the dishes afterwards. It could be sending, I don't know, someone brought you a gift, you know, you send them a thank you note, or if it was some kind of event, like a fundraising event or something, you're doing your follow up. You're sharing pictures from the event, like these kinds of things, right? Like that is very much of value to me. And I think that really shows up in my lunar placement. But when we're talking about initiating things, like don't ever make me sit down and look at a blank Word document and try to write something.
You do it like every month though.
Yeah, but I'm not. I'm going out and I'm finding what other people said about things, and I'm analyzing and constructing it and putting it together. So when I'm doing presentations, I'm going out and like collecting a lot of information, and then I'm trying to make a little like Frankenstein monster out of it all to make sure it all fits and works. And if it doesn't, then I really go off in these rabbit holes or these wormholes of like, why doesn't it work? And should I abandon the entire thing? And then I take it all apart. So I think for me, I do tend to show up stronger, not at that initiating phase, or more. I guess another way to look at it is my initiating phase is often I feel called when there is something to respond to.
Okay.
And so coming in and figuring out what I'm going to do about it and kind of figuring out what's already there. And it's something I like to do whenever I start things. So this is one of those things like let's say video games. I do restart things all the time, especially
Really?
especially games where you're like kind of sandboxing or you're like doing Civ development or something like that. I actually restart things all the time because I think it's hard for me to, I don't know. I think I'm getting stuck in like some Capricorn Virgo mindset or something because like I'll start it and I'll go, oh, you know, it would be better.
Oh no, I do this too actually. So I don't know if this
I
is
mean, I
just
think
a
this
you.
is
I don't know if
just,
it's just
I
a you
just think
thing.
this is these kind of things. So I was like, that is my exception, but I think that just might be people who play these kinds of games things. Cause it's not like with games with storylines or something like that, but like,
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever heard of the game Banished.
No.
It's like so old now. And it's really like something I will play and restart. And it's just like you start with these little people and they're in the middle of the woods. They have to start a civilization. And I literally will get to about 100 settlers and then just get bored. Like I'm done playing and I will restart it every single time. And it's a
Like
problem.
playing The Sims. You play for 48 hours and then you're done.
Yeah,
Like
absolutely. Yeah. I mean, and I have it on Steam, and my brother, who has like a million games on Steam, he's like, you really like this Spanish game. I'm like, I just don't get very far in it. I have like, I mean, I keep creating new saves until the whole screen is full, and then I go, I'm never going back to those, and I delete them all out. So that's like totally a different thing, because I think that is my analysis trying to say, okay, well, from my point of entry, right?
I see.
How would I improve it? I think there's an argument, but again, I think it's just like you said, it's just like simulation games. I think it's just a trap. It's a trap to never make progress. But I think when I come into something and it's not mine, it's like already in progress and I'm not 100% responsible for it, I think I do usually have a good way of doing some analysis and doing some assessment and kind of wanting to respect the history of it.
Okay.
You know, so like, and you know that with astrology, I think, you know, you can never just teach me a technique and I go, cool. I'm like, okay, who invented it? When did it start? Was it based on something else? Tell me the lineage of this thing. I want to know all the information and where we're coming from. And then I'm actually not against trying out new techniques and tweaking things or saying, okay, well, this is the lineage, but what if I combine it with this other thing? And so I think for me, I don't start well from nothing. It's a very uncomfortable place for me. I like to be able to come in and kind of make sense of things. Yeah.
That makes sense. I see it. What?
I don't care if you love me, I love me. I love me. I'm not going to cry about it. I'm not going to cry about it. Because, yeah, I will make a plan about it.
She'll make a plan.
Jeez, it sounds so threatening. I'm going to be on a list.
Assassinate me.
I'm going to be on a list. I'm going to be on a list. Sorry. My microphone should be down here.
Oh, shit.
Barbie hands. I'm going to get yelled at.
The Virgo midheaven will be
And
like,
then I'll be
what
on
are
her
you
list.
doing?
I'll be on her list then.
But I'm going to come at her with a butter knife, so it's fine.
Let's talk about what we are calling the Sagittarius Sidequest birth chart, I guess. So we were talking about this project for a while, but there was like one day, it's when we made the Instagram account. There's nothing, yeah, we didn't put anything on it, but just like it
I mean, you never know. There could be something on it now.
I think it was the, what?
Well,
Oh, well, yeah, no, I mean, there was nothing on it.
When we started, though, yeah.
Yes, right, at the time. We didn't put anything up the other day. And then but I think it was the only time that we were like, this is a time and date that we wrote down. So maybe that's what we're going off of. But I'm going to make the argument.
It felt kind of official.
It did. We were like, we're really doing this. It was the first time, even though another human wasn't looking at it, that we interacted with something outside of our own discussion. So the chart that we're going to talk about is the Sagittarius Sidequest chart. This
Yeah, we
is
can show it to them. Like,
yeah,
we'll insert
dope
so you can see it.
So the one we're looking at right now is the Sagittarius Sidequest chart, and it was the first time that we committed something outside of just our conversation, and so we thought it would be fun to look back on that and see what that might say about the starting of this project and how we think it might go about. And we did notice right off the bat when we made the account, we pulled up the chart right away. We did not really get into it, but the very first thing that we noticed, of course, is that it did have a Gemini rising.
Yep, that's the first thing I noticed this year too.
Yeah, and so we actually haven't really talked through this before. We're just going to kind of go through it together. And so...
I mean, for us specifically, I think having a Gemini rising as a chart is really cute because both of us have our descendant in the 7th in Gemini. And
I'd be attracting Geminis.
Yeah, me too. I love them
for
too.
better or for worse. I will always love the Gemini. I don't always love the planetary baggage that is brought by the Gemini. Sometimes they have other stuff going on.
But
Saturn on my Mars.
Oop. I love a Gemini.
No, I do too.
I feel like I think the only sign that I truly ever slander is probably a Scorpio sun specifically. But that's my own personal shit. Like, it's not because I think they are inherently bad overall.
Right.
But like I don't think I have.
But that's a whole separate conversation about people with suns in your 12th house.
Which is we should write that down for a future thing.
Yeah.
But the reason I say that is like, I don't really get the Gemini slander. I don't really get the Virgo slander. I don't really get the...
You really, really don't get the Capricorn slander.
No, what is wrong with you people?
She's like, if Gemini and Virgo had a baby, it would be the tastiest Capricorn. Actually, I think Virgo is probably the baby of Gemini and Capricorn, to be honest. Like, I think that's how that works. Mercury ruled, but it's an earth sign. Yeah. Like,
I just feel like those are signs that typically get a lot of slander, and I'm just not here for it. It is probably because my descendant is in Gemini that I'm just like, no, I understand my moon.
Yeah.
No, I understand. Yeah. But I think this is really cute.
It is a very heavy Capricorn chart. This was early January. So we had a lot. It was just Capricorn season. It just was what it was. And so that was something that I think we did talk about that at the time, whether or not we wanted to lock this in as our chart. Because like New Year's resolutions, I mean, this conversation had been going on for a while and we didn't sit down to actually record or do anything for a little bit after this. But I think whatever we did lock in at that time is going to stand with us.
Yeah.
And so in addition to the sun, we've got, and this is just what's happening this year, is all the planets are getting real close to each other. Like Mars is hanging out with all the faster moving planets. So we have Mars, the sun, Venus, and Mercury all in Capricorn together. So to me, there is something about this that has that potential.
Oh, for sure.
To have longevity to it, right? That there's some seed that's being planted that has that potential. And maybe just kind of going off of what I was saying about Capricorn New Year's resolutions, like having some flexibility of not throwing the baby out with the bathwater, right? Like keeping just focusing on what is specifically the essence of this and having some flexibility and letting things move around it.
I also noted, I'm also noticing for us too, that Jupiter Is it opposing anything exact? No. But
No.
some things within like 5 degrees. Jupiter is opposing some of this stuff over here.
It is, and it is retrograde already, which is
Mm.
not something, which is, Jupiter's the ruling planet for Sagittarius. So that, if I was going to elect a chart, if I was going to say what would be the date I would want to found something, that would probably be something that I would stay away from. It's not a Sagittarius ruled chart.
No.
So it's not, the ruler of the chart is not in that position. Mercury is direct at this point and it's a Gemini chart. So that's good. There could be something about maybe slower to grow potentially. I'm thinking about Jupiter it was in Cancer. So I like Jupiter in Cancer, but there's something about like maybe having to do some revisions or like false starts, taking just time for things to grow and for like
You
the
know
full
what though?
benefit to come.
I think just like I've been in social media a long time, and I think just anybody out there that like wants to get into that, sometimes the slow growth is actually the better growth. Like you want the back catalog available anyways, so that when people do find you, there's more to see. So like I don't know, just in
You're
general,
not
I'm
mad
not
about it.
mad.
Not mad about it.
I think slow growth is a good thing.
And again, just because we have the Cancer and then the four planets in Capricorn, just going back to our thesis earlier that things in cardinal star signs are good for beginnings, without getting into the specifics of, is this planet in domicile? Is it like we're not getting in the weeds right now. This is just kind of a quick glance for the purposes of talking about like Mars placements, cardinal placements, and then the moon phase. I do think it's interesting. This is a good moon phase for me to start.
I noticed this. It's right down here
Yeah.
on the
It is in
IC
the
as
disseminating.
well.
It was in the disseminating phase. It was past the full moon point. And
But it's within 2 degrees of the IC
I
as
haven't.
well.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And we're doing it on a couch. So,
In my house. Love it.
yeah. The moon being ruled by the Capricorn sun because it's in Leo just kind of ties it back into that Capricorn piece. I could see, putting feelings on display, moon in Leo, right? Like putting a lot of, I mean, if she doesn't actually cry for us on camera, I am going to be a little disappointed at some point. She's been promising me. I've never seen her cry,
Listen,
but she might do it for you.
just because I can cry on command doesn't mean I want to. If I had to, I could though.
And then
I am also noticing the midheaven up here. We have Pluto really close as
yeah.
well within 4 degrees. How do we feel about that in Aquarius? Because this would be like the midheaven, which I don't think we said it earlier. Some of y'all might already know, but the midheaven is that like highest point in the chart. It's your public image. It's where you are public facing. So for a project, that is something I would pay attention to. Something that is going
Absolutely.
to be public
I like
facing.
for something that is going to be broadcast out to a network of people through a networking tool like the internet.
Aquarius is great, I
Aquarius
think.
Midheaven is great, right?
Yeah.
So any kind of like crowdsourcing efforts, just
Growing a
commuting
community.
communities, utilizing technology to do that, Midheaven in Aquarius. And, Pluto, it is really close there, so I think it has more impact. Usually Pluto to me is kind of, it's a background. It's a generational planet. It's kind of just a tone. It's part of the world that the rest of the chart is happening in. But when it is close to an angle, I think it does carry more weight.
Want to know something interesting?
Huh.
My Saturn is at 6 degrees Aquarius in my chart.
Okay. So you're going to be putting in some work on this.
Apparently.
This is like, it's going to feel like a job. It's going to be like a job.
I don't know. I was asking for it.
Yeah.
How many times was I like, let me produce, let me produce. I'm going to act as produce. Okay. We're going to get into it.
So, I mean, that Pluto, there's usually, I talk about transformation, death of something in order to be reborn, Phoenix rising from the ashes. But I was also really sitting with this concept of Pluto being about obsession recently, right? Pluto is also about passion, but not like, it can be a sexy, fun kind of passion, but like, it's not a light, like it's intense, right?
Yes.
So like having this intensity, I hope this isn't bringing us stalkers to have, or maybe I'm the stalker. I don't know. So I'm just looking at like what that could mean in general, though. I think Pluto and these like notions of this just being an Aquarius generation that we're all living in right now, even though the Aquarian babies are babies still.
Stalkers would have to knock it off anyway, because I'll build a fortress, an impenetrable
She's gonna
fortress.
build a fortress of these
Yes, and
guys.
you will never be able to get through.
Just brick by build a bear brick.
Yes.
We have a lot of cardinal. There's nothing going on in the Aries spectrum of the chart, but all that Cancer energy, I think it is, and I think it makes sense, especially for you to be starting something new, but that's like building on things that you've done before. I've done astrology for a long time, but not in a public platform in this way. So this is really new, but I think that can make a lot of sense for us to be building on things that we do have experience in. Like we are building on some things that we have experience and background on, and it's a new iteration of things that we're already doing. So that could make sense too.
I think I like also, just because we didn't mention it, I know it's not a cardinal sign or anything, but I also kind of like that our descendant is in Sag.
Yeah.
But also, like, does that mean all the Sagittarius are gonna come for us? Like,
Welcome to the tribe, guys. I mean, really, right? Like we love Gemini and having Gemini on the ascendant, so it is about communication. It's about making connections and bridging ideas, bridging communities, bridging people, making that connection. But yeah, having potentially the audience, right? Like the people that we're interacting with beyond ourselves be Sagittarius. Like
oh my
we're literally
God,
calling that to ourselves by
they're gonna be such a goofy bunch. I'm so excited. The clowns, literally. Oh my God, I'm so excited. I love
that's right. At
Sagittarius.
least the hate comments are going to be hilarious.
Yeah, at least
They're
you
going to
guys are
be
gonna be so
really
funny.
good at that. It's going to hurt and I'm going to cry from
But we
laughter.
also have Lilith. I mean, I don't personally, I'm not trying to knock Lilith. I don't put too much stock into that, but it's probably because I also don't know a lot. Like, there could be a lot of information on that. I'm sure there is. But we do have Lilith within 4 degrees of that as well. Which, like, to me, I always see that without having a lot of knowledge that Lilith to me is the outcast.
And it's the ladies.
And it's the ladies.
It's like deep feminine power.
So,
It's the
like,
discarded, the disgraced, the outcast feminine power.
maybe we're actually calling in like a bunch of witches and bad bitches is all
That's
I'm
right.
saying.
If you're on your time of the month, you're in the right place. That's what I'm saying.
Yes. Yes, yes.
And if you don't have one of those, you're also in the right place. But I
Yes.
think it is like that secretive feminine power.
I love
I
that.
love it. Yes.
Is there
Welcome,
anything else
witches.
that you're noticing that you want to call out?
This is not specific to the date. It's just kind of the era that we're in. So kind of like, Pluto just having gone into Aquarius in the last couple of years. That's just kind of the state of the world. If we'd picked a week earlier or later, it wouldn't have made a difference. But the nodes, especially since we're still playing jump rope. We're going to be playing jump rope between the Virgo Pisces versus the Aquarius Leo nodes coming up. But I think having this be pointed in the North Node in Pisces at this time, even though so many planets, like we just had at the time that we're recording, we just had our Aries ingress of Saturn and Neptune. So there's a lot of emphasis that we're moving away from Piscean themes, but we're really not done with it.
We're not.
One, because you get Pisces season every year, right? Where you have all of the slower moving planets, but also because we still have that North Node in Pisces. And so there is still some like larger lesson that the energy of this larger lesson of moving from the mundane to the spiritual, or putting routine and service and work and organization and being able to categorize things, all the Virgo things, putting that in service of something more kind of ethereal and boundaryless. That us doing this at this time, we're not out of that Pisces era completely right now.
No, we're so close to it.
Yeah.
It's still within reach.
Also on the concept of spirituality, or it could be broader, it could be like education, philosophy, but just ideas and this pursuit, noticing that in the whole sign system, which is how we're looking at it, the midheaven is in the ninth house.
Yeah.
So there is also something about this being very publicly about philosophy, spirituality, religion,
Sagittarius's
ideas.
house.
It is, yes. We do often associate Sagittarius with a nice ninth house. So,
I don't know how
yeah.
married to that you are, because I know you were like, we could just delete the houses earlier. So I don't know how much stock she puts in that, but it meant something to me.
I mean, we could. No, I mean, and I'm talking about these all in terms of houses, and I absolutely will. I'm just making a distinction because if you're using Placidus or any of the quadrant
Yeah,
systems,
yeah.
that the midheaven is always going to start your 10th house. And so there's some things about those systems that give you certain information you don't get in whole sign. But one of the things you get in whole sign is if the midheaven is outside of the 10th house, it does import part of those concepts and those ideas so into your work, into your career, into your fame, your notoriety, all of those 10th house topics. If it's in the ninth or it's in the 11th, it's going to bring those themes in. And so like in my chart, I'm bringing in a lot of those community themes and a lot of ideas around 11th house topics. And in this chart, our project is bringing in a lot of spirituality,
Yeah,
philosophy. And I guess I would also say that what we're set up to do, and I think what we should do, and it's interesting because, we're going to start talking about ourselves because people love talking about themselves, but also because it's something we want to do to kind of introduce ourselves
for
and
sure.
talk about what this process is for us of getting started. But I think looking at the moon and the IC being in Leo, this really can't be about us. And I think we're going to do better, right? When it's not about us. I think there is this wanting to focus on how we make connection and yeah, just like on a community. And I think that is something that actually is very true for both of us. I think
Oh,
for
yeah.
me, it's been more like local in like IRL community. And I think for you, it's definitely been building, more of a
And
digital
online, yeah.
platform. But I think for us, even when we talk about ourselves, I think there's this hope that it triggers something or it
Yeah,
illuminates something for other people
I would say so.
and that we are open to, discussion, thoughts, ideas, feedback, connecting on themes or, questions about why we hate Libras so much. We don't hate Libras,
We
but we
don't.
can't possibly love them as much as they love themselves. And we understand that.
Not, this will not be the end of you hearing me talk about my bitch Libra sister, and I hope she is watching.
We've talked about a lot of things. I mean, but I think it's also, I'm reflecting on as this is our first foray into this, our first adventure together on our side quest. We did a lot of side questing.
A lot of side
I gotta
questing.
pack snacks for it next time. Like I need my like backcountry gear for the side quest here. But it also is it's occurring to me, all of the little things that like we could spend a whole topic just explaining what the fuck we were talking
For
about. Like when
sure.
we're like, oh, Uranus is square this other thing, and it's like, oh, we could explain that better. But we're not going to do that today.
No, we don't got time.
We don't got
Ain't nobody
time.
got time for that. Thank you so much for joining us for the first pancake. We appreciate
Yes.
it. Hopefully, like 5 episodes from now, we're gonna. Do you think we're ever really gonna like have it down, or do you think it's
Sure.
always gonna? No, it's always gonna be a
Sure.
side quest. That's the
Yeah.
point.
Although now I'm thinking about the first pancake and how like it depends on what you do, but if you make it with like butter in the pan, then you get like all the extra butter
That's so
crispiness on
true.
it. So it's not gonna look pretty,
But it's gonna
but
it's
it's
gonna
gonna be
put out.
buttery. It's gonna be
Now that we've done the beginning part, the ending is also awkward, but yeah, thank you so much for joining us. If you want to find me on the internet, I will be leaving my links down below, as well as some links where you can find this project down below.
I will be doing that as well.
So
So
yeah, follow us everywhere. All right, we'll talk to you next time. Bye.
bye.